Thank you all. It's great to be here. I think it's been nearly 2 years since I've actually presented in front of the City Commission, so it's exciting to be back. And thank you for your time. I'll try to briefly go through this. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to stop me at any time. Just to hear at the beginning, I wanted to do a little background of what the hotel is. It's a 15-story, 239-room, 180,000 square foot facility. It was built in 1981, and it's really not had any significant upgrades since the day it was built. Unit 2, which is what we're calling part of the hotel complex, is the mall plaza portion that is a 2-story building comprising about 85,000 square feet, built pretty much after the hotel, connecting the arena and the hotel. So total combined square footage, 265,000 square feet, and a little less than 4 acres. Just to give you an idea of the current state of the facility, you know, as I had mentioned, this facility has gone through multiple hands over the years, and really it seems like folks run it for a little while, realize that it needs some significant upgrades, and then it gets passed on. And I know Rebecca and I and Ted and many others have been working on this project for well over 5 years. How we came into control of the facility was through the DIF fund. We lent dollars to a developer who was going to upgrade it to a DoubleTree hotel. That did not happen, and we came into ownership of the hotel via legal proceedings. We've been working, we took ownership of the hotel last last November, and we've been working with engineers and design firms on, you know, what really is going to take to get this project up to the potential that we think this community needs and deserves and will contribute economically to the community. So I just wanted to point out, these are just some conceptual renderings. We were playing with ideas of staining the brick to change the color, putting on some what they'll call metal panels, and even doing some exterior illumination at night, which is a priority of ours. You know, the one down here in the corner could go, it's showing blue, but that's, we would like to install something that could change. So during 4th of July, you could do red, white, and blue. Other months that are themed, you could change during Christmas, red and green. Let's just give you an idea of what it could look like. During this process, and I'll talk a little bit about this on the next couple slides, we worked with a philanthropic partner. We brought them to the table to bring some funding to bring this hotel up to speed. And during discussions, you know, we really talked about the old mall and plaza portion that has significantly deteriorated as well. So we worked with a philanthropic foundation, and we are set to acquire that facility. Really, the message was, we believe in this project for Battle Creek, but we don't want to trip over ourselves and not have a piece of the complete complex between the arena and the hotel, because they all really jive with one another, including the parking ramp, which is important to the hotel as well. And then looking into, with engineers, the renovation cost of Unit 2. This is not set in stone yet, but it was not economically feasible to buy Unit 2 and renovate an 85,000 square feet, basically empty mall. Now there is some use there, but it would cost a lot more, and you would have no guaranteed revenue of any commercial tenants. So what we try to do is conceptualize an area that would give a proper entrance to the arena, connect the hotel, and add some amenities to the hotel, and actually create some outdoor space in the middle of downtown. So some of the imagery that you're seeing there would be what could potentially replace Unit 2. Okay. Just to give you an idea of the numbers, the estimated total cost of this project is nearly $60 million, $59,200,000. The hotel alone is $46 million. Unit 2 is $12 million. Both of those include some land costs, professional engineering services, so they're not the actual raw construction costs. BCU to date has invested approximately $4 million into this. And really, this kind of leads into Arpa qualifications. I talk about this a lot. Battle Creek is a market in transition. The hotel may cost 46 million, but your appraisal is going to come in at 20 million, and it really creates a gap. So we're overturning every single program that we can, from the MEDC to philanthropic partners, to close that. We are going to order another appraisal. We believe the hotel industry has improved slightly to where that appraisal might go up a little bit. Hotel occupancy, from what I understand, in Calhoun County is one of the highest in the state. So that's good. So our needed equity stake is nearly $29 million. We have leveraged, made lots of asks, and we have leveraged many community partners. You can see the list there of the community partners who have already contributed, and the ones who have been asked that are in the process of considering. Oops. Just to kind of give you an idea of the economic impact numbers. These are annual numbers. 163 operational jobs once fully stabilized, and I put a caveat there, that's pre-COVID. The hotel industry, just like everybody else, is struggling to hire. Some of these hotel operations are finding that rooms are no longer needing to be cleaned on a daily basis because of guests are requesting that nobody enter their room. So it could be a situation where it's 80% of that number, but we're gonna have to see how the recovery of COVID continues. On your right is your visitor expenditures. You know, just retail alone, we feel that this is directly related to pushing out room night stay guests out into the downtown and spending their dollars here at the local restaurants. The construction trades there, that's the economic output, and the tax impact. So in 2023, it would reach 713,000. That's inclusive of the city's tax as well as the CVB. So it reaches 1 million in 2028, 2029. What's unique about this is we plan to work with our community partners, our local schools, KCC, Grand Valley State University, which has a partnership with the Kellogg Foundation, to create a teaching hotel concept to expose our youth and our residents to really upward mobility industry. You start in on the ground floor, but there's a lot of upward mobility in the hospitality industry. So that's a unique aspect of this project. The timeline, just to give you an idea, the hard bids for phase 1 is complete. General contractor identified, hotel operator. We've received the flag from the Hilton, DoubleTree by Hilton. We plan to start phase 1 construction, which is a lot of the mechanical stuff that has a lot of lead time. And we're also trying to hedge for some cost increases with materials. We plan to close on Unit 2 in Q3. We have approached the MEDC in the state. That application is in. We hope to have our capital stack finalized in Q3 or Q4 of this year, and it would be operational. Probably it's leaking into the first quarter of 2023. Just wanted to throw some things together for some consideration, how this qualifies for ARPA. I won't read the whole list. Rebecca can, if I send this to you, you can provide this to the commissioners. Yep, and I just really wanted to point out that we're really blessed to even be this far in the conversation, but thus far, we would need to leverage additional 26.5 million, and I can tell you at this point we have $21.5 million committed from our philanthropic partners, and they are also willing to guarantee the senior debt position on the loan because banks are hesitant to loan on the hospitality industry right now. So with that, I'll stop.
I have a question.
Okay.
This is Commissioner Herring. So if I'm understanding correctly, this is a loan from the city?
No.
Well, this would be a grant. Oh, sorry. This is Rebecca's. Sorry.
That's okay. It would be a grant.
Okay.
I need to end my show. Is it okay to end my slideshow?
Sure. We can put this, Joe, we'll put your presentation up when we put our information out with all of this information, our presentation and the spreadsheets and et cetera. I think it was Commissioner Reynolds and I see Commissioner Morris. So I hope I'm getting it in the right order.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great presentation. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question was, now you say you had an application in the state. Do you have any type of ideas to what we might be looking at with those applications out there?
So the request to the MEDC is a
Mhm.
combination of grant and loan totaling 9
Oh.
million.
Okay.
The state is working on a supplemental $2.1 million package that has some ARPA match, so that 9 million may alter between the two.
Okay.
And they are looking, from what I understand, those buckets, they are looking to leverage local communities on their ARPA dollars as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Morris? Nope. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Sorry. My question is for Joe too. So if we were to go ahead with this and use these funds, do you have anything in place to monitor and make sure that it doesn't end up how it is right now?
Yeah, that's the uniqueness of this. So this would be an asset owned by Battle Creek Unlimited with a separate organization that would have a board. Our intent is not to turn this back over to the private sector and let it, I guess, deteriorate, let's say in year 10. The performa and everything has dollars set aside on an annual basis so that in year 5 or 7, when there needs to be a $4 million refresh, you have the money sitting there. And we really intend to, if it's going to break even or be profitable, we hope it becomes really profitable, but really funnel the dollars back into the economic development ecosystem in Battle Creek. So circulating the dollars here locally.
Thank you.
Commissioner Zenda Wilson, I see your hand, and I think Commissioner Herring after that. Okay.
Thank you very much. Joe, thanks for this. It's helpful. I'm actually really inspired by the innovative approach for a teaching hotel. That's, I like that concept a lot. I do have a question about, projected revenue from the hotel so that we can create a sustainable model is going to be heavily dependent on some real synergy across our economic development efforts to make sure that we're driving people to Battle Creek and who want to spend their time here. And so I'm wondering, how much effort is being placed in that to lay some foundation for those things. I saw some of your partners on the one slide tells me that there's some, I'm assuming that there's some efforts there, but can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, Commissioner Wilson, I wholeheartedly agree with you, and that's what's going to be the driver of this project. I would say 90% of my time right now on this project has been focused with getting the capital stack finalized and getting it under construction, which will then leave us with, it's going to be at least an 18-month construction project. That's when we're going to bring in the partners and really create the, what I'll call the teaching hotel curriculum, and we'll bring other partners in, including a lot of the businesses in the fort and throughout the community to really drive traffic there.
If I could add also, the city is, very supportive of the hotel becoming a vibrant and working hotel again. But we're also equally interested into its relationship and connection to the Kellogg Arena. We know that that arena is just an untapped asset, and the more it gets used, the more people will come in and want to stay at the hotel. So, of course, it was very crippling during COVID when everything was shut down. We couldn't hold any events in the arena, and we also did not have a functioning working hotel. So that's why, we're so appreciative of Joe and his team, yes, focusing on the hotel, but recognizing that the plaza is equally important in supporting the Kellogg Arena, because we just see that advancing the availability of a large space just for sport events that have contacted us, and social service groups and clubs who want to come and do annual events. We only see that increasing because the hotel is a draw for the arena and the arena is a draw for the hotel. So, it's a symbiotic relationship that we want to continue to nurture. And I know that Ted and the CVB and CCDC are all very focused on making sure we're marketing the arena appropriately in conjunction with all of the great work that is happening with the hotel and other downtown partners.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was my follow-up question. And I also think about when I moved here in the early 90s, there was such a thriving downtown and so much was happening at Bailey Park and other places that were sports related that drew families here. So I think that there is, and now we've got HandMap and the Record Box that are doing weddings. So I just think this idea of private, public, looking at all of the players and making sure that we are working together to really kind of highlight downtown, because you're also competing with all the stuff out here at 94 and the new hotels that are out there. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. I think it was Commissioner Herring.
Thank you, Rebecca. So I just have a question. Is there any thought to using local contractors?
Yes, we've, in phase one, we have bid that portion out, and I will say, I'm just making up a number here, but I would say there's 6 major contractors on that project. There is a GM that oversees those, but of the 6, I would say at least 3 of them are local.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Joe?
Could you remind me, what was the total ask from the city?
2.5 million in ARPA funds going to both the hotel and the plaza. 1.5 to the hotel and 1 to the plaza.
Thank you.
I do have a question. Joe, towards the latter part of the organization at McCamly Plaza, it seemed like there wasn't an attraction or there wasn't a draw except for maybe some weddings, some events at Kellogg Arena. How are you going to write your business plan to really make an attraction that's going to bring people in that hadn't been there beforehand in order to really make this thing successful? I know that you and I have talked about a couple things, but are we getting closer to that attraction that's really going to make that a magnet? And then secondly, I really feel that the city of Battle Creek needs to have a seat on your corporate board for this contribution that we're making on behalf of the people of our community.
That is noted. And to give a little bit, I think it goes back to Commissioner Zenda Wilson as bringing the community together to make sure that this hotel is successful. I can say even as early as 2017, 2018, this hotel was hitting nearly 60% occupancy. And that's what per COVID and probably really, really rough shape. I can tell you, I probably wouldn't stay there knowing how many times I've been in that facility now over the last year. I think the real key to the hotel is having a product that people are proud and comfortable in staying in. That's where it really started to wean without the proper investment, but absolutely pulling the partners in, having additional events at the arena are key to getting it over that 60% occupancy, and I'm confident that can happen.
Thanks. Any other?
I do, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Commissioner.
Joe, I was just wondering, with our other hotels around the area, those that are specifically branded, name brand, not somewhat privately owned, what are our occupancy rates there, and what do we know those revenue streams to be? Have they been on the incline? Because I haven't seen the same statistics you have that the hotel industry yet is fully recovering. So I'm wondering what those hotel rates are at, because I know we've still been hosting a few things, and maybe what that revenue has looked like. And
I don't have it with me right now, but I can work with the CVB to get their numbers. They have probably the most real time. Those numbers are probably going to be reflected in our updated appraisal. So we've worked with CBRE, which is probably #2 in the nation, and they ran all those numbers back in January. So those numbers are going to be quite interesting to compare after 3 solid months of hotel occupancy. But I will work to get that for you.
I think that Rebecca rarely lost the connection. So are there any more questions for Joe?
I have one, Ted. This is Commissioner Lance. And I don't know when Rebecca's going to get back, but Joe, I think it kind of goes to what has been being asked about the use of this hotel and the attraction that it is. I think the arena has been mentioned several times, and I know that at least in this projected first ask for ARPA dollars, the arena doesn't have any. I didn't see anything from staff regarding arena dollars to upgrade that, also to make it an attraction. So, I mean, I guess if we update the hotel, I don't know if there's any plans to also upgrade the arena to make it more attractive. I don't know if you've had those discussions with Rebecca and Ted or not.
I may be able to help that a little bit too. And so a couple of things. Since we live in such a connected world, I believe that Linda Freibler, who is the head of the CVB, is actually watching and listening to this presentation. And she simply texted me real quick and said, over 80 to 95% for branded hotels. So I think occupancy rate at our branded hotels does quite well in our community. And of course, a lot of the amateur sports activity that we have in the summertime books those hotels at 100% over the weekend. So I wanted to share that information. And then the arena, that's a great question, Commissioner. There are actually several items that were actually in the recommended list, or the larger list pertaining to the arena. I think there may have only been one or two that we actually recommended for funding, although we do have some other sources of funding that we can pursue for renovations at the arena. Now, I will point out that the arena did go through a fairly major renovation in 2015 and 16. That was a pretty significant overhaul of most of the interior of the building. And so I'm not suggesting that there aren't additional needs there and that we won't continue to look at those. But I think as far as the physical facility, the arena is not in bad shape. We need to add some of the amenities like sports court and some other things that drive event activity there. But it is definitely on our radar to coincide with what's happening here at the hotel for